We are live. Hello, folks. Devin Palou, Ratio Christi Winthrop University, and just got done doing a really good teaching on the doctrine of the Trinity, where we were looking at some really important issues on how to answer certain objections to the doctrine of the Trinity, and we went about almost an hour and a half, and students really enjoyed it, and was able to really dig deep in a lot of issues. Wanted to bring a good friend of mine on here, Mr. Christian Alter, and Christian has been with us. You started with high school prep 2 years ago. So Ratio Christi College Prep is a group for high schoolers, and we're actually going to start again this Thursday. Will be our first first meeting of the semester to kind of kick it off, and Christian has been with us for a couple years with that. Very bright young man, and just wanted to introduce him to our audience, and good to see you too, Miss Kara. Hopefully we'll see you sometime down the road. But what's going on, Ollie? Good to see you, my man. Good chatting with you today. But I just wanted to talk with him a little bit and pick his brain. So, Christian, tell us how did you become a Christian? When did you become a Christian? And what were some of the events and that led to that?
So, do I hold this? Okay. So,
you gotta speak into it though.
My family was all Christians, and I grew up going to church my whole life. I had heard from my grandmother that I came to Christ on her couch praying with her. I also heard the same thing happening in a church pew, and this was all when I was very young, I think around 2 or 3 years old. So it sounds like I got saved multiple times, and I really don't think that I understood what I was saying. I heard Matt Chandler say in a sermon, if you ask a kid if he'd rather go to heaven with mom and dad or go to hell forever, I mean, they're obviously going to say mom and dad whether they understand it or not, and I think that's what I was doing. So when I was about 8, I was really afraid for whether or not I was saved. I mean, I've heard lots of, are you sure you're a Christian sermons every now and then, so I would pray over and over again, God, please save me, just in case I wasn't. And I think at that point, I had put my faith in the prayers I was saying rather than in Jesus. At that point, I still hadn't even considered the fact that I was actually a sinner deserving of hell. And when I was 12 or 13, I had this idea that I was perfectly fine, my sin didn't concern me at all, and a short while after that I started thinking, hey, maybe I was never actually saved. I wouldn't say that about everyone who came to Christ at a young age at all, but for me it was true. So when I was 14, I heard a sermon from my pastor, and it just convicted me, and later that night I was just on my bed and started asking God, hey, and I've been like completely fake toward him my whole life, and apathetic to God, really, not wanting anything to do with him. I prayed to change that, or prayed that he would change that, and decided to give my life to him. It took me about a year, really, before I started really digging deeper into the Bible and understanding more about him. I mean, there was some change during that time, but not a whole lot. So a year later, we moved here and came and met Devin, and, well, I knew Devin before this since I was young, but, well, started talking to Devin about Ratio Christi, and he was pestering me into coming here, and I'm glad he did. And met some good pastors here who have been mentoring me in my faith, and Devin's definitely been a big part of that too, and I'm glad to have him.
Thanks, man. Appreciate your time. And folks, Christian's just one example of a long list of young men that we've been able to just pour into, and just I've learned so much from him. He is one of the smartest young men I've ever met, and an incredible mind, and trying to encourage him to get to Southern Evangelical Seminary and do some work there. But appreciate everybody watching, and we're going to do another interview in a moment here. But thanks for those who support us and our ministry and what we're able to do. You guys make it possible to where we can come here on a Tuesday night, spend an hour and a half talking about the doctrine of the Trinity on a secular university, secular campus. You guys make that happen. So I just want to thank all of our donors. Ask you to keep praying for us as we keep going on. God bless.